Project Boost for you, where we talk about all the topics that are relevant to our communities. I'm Aziza Gary from MECU, and today's topic is something many people can relate to regardless of income. We're talking about paycheck to paycheck living. Did you know that 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck? While most people think it only affects the low-wage earner, this is not the reality of the situation. Career Builder found out that people from all walks of life are having a hard time budgeting, dealing with debt, and they're barely making ends meet. Here are some other statistics. Nearly 3 in 4 workers say they are in debt, and more than half think they will always be. 32% of 3,500 full-time workers surveyed used a budget regularly, and only 56% saved $100 or less monthly. So what does paycheck to paycheck mean? To me, it's the struggle of everyday people trying to make ends meet in order to take care of their families today, while still holding on to that dream of being able to one day save enough to send their children to college, to buy a home, and to retire from the rat race. Realistically, those dreams are hard to capture if you're consistently in a state of trying to find a way to survive to your next paycheck. Trust me. Living paycheck to paycheck also puts people at a higher financial risk, especially if a loss of job happens or health-related issues occur, because folks have little to no savings available. As I stated earlier, living paycheck to paycheck is common amongst people from all walks of life. And while some would say it's about the money management issues, I say it has to do with a little more than that. Inflation is one of those factors. While salaries have risen over the years, the cost of living has skyrocketed. It is outpacing the increases that we have earned. Also, personal debt continues to climb while we are borrowing more than we can actually afford to pay back. However, a lot of the times those loans are not taken for frivolous items. The majority of these loans are taken out of need, as most Americans can't cover an emergency expense of $400 at this moment without it impacting their budget. Credit unions all over the country see this every day within our communities. We see people take great steps in order to reclaim their financial power, and life comes around and knocks them down hard. One important thing that we can do as a community is to provide motivation and resources for them to start again. I often remind people that slow motion is still motion and life will always happen. It is up to them to learn how to navigate that storm, but they don't have to do it alone. We are all in this together, and we are here to provide those resources and a little sunshine. Before sharing my 3 quick tips for breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, I invite you to send in questions that you may have that we can discuss live on this program. If you've broken this cycle yourself, please share your path with us. Quick tip number 1, pay yourself first. You can start savings with a $1 deposit. People assume that in order to save, you need to start with a large amount of money. This is definitely not true. Start small. Make it easy by setting up automatic deductions. Make it fun by naming the savings account something like New Home, Mexico, Here I Come. You get the idea. The visual will help remind you what you're saving for. Motivation is key. Quick tip number 2, find a side hustle. Many of us have talents that others would gladly pay for. If you're currently working full-time with the family, it might be hard to go out and find a second job. This might be an option for you. I know someone that picked up a second job with a food delivery service, and she takes her son along with her to explain to him how to make the ends meet, which has opened up an honest communication with them about needs versus wants. Driving was her talent, and she is receiving a second stream of income that will help her break her paycheck to paycheck situation because she is saving more than she has ever has. Slow motion is still motion. If driving isn't your thing, sell items on eBay or Craigslist. Become a freelance writer or blogger. The sky is definitely the limit. Quick tip number 3, define and delete your debt. As I mentioned earlier, 30% of people surveyed actually used the monthly budget and still were unable to get off that treadmill of paycheck to paycheck living. If you're carrying a large amount of debt, look for a coach to help you out with a debt management plan. One who's experienced in speaking to creditors and finding the best solution for you and your paycheck. I also suggest using a spending diary. I can never stress this enough. It's better for you to tell your money where to go instead of you trying to figure out where it went. You'll be amazed about how those daily coffee, soda, lunches, and dinner expenses add up. Seeing it on paper makes it real and helps us to change our behaviors. So pack a lunch and start saving today. So if you're feeling in the weeds and you're looking to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, remember our 3 quick tips. Pay yourself first, find a side hustle, define and delete your debt. Before we wrap up today's discussion, let's see if we have any questions or feedback from our viewers. Dennis from Atlanta is asking, with the first tip you gave, pay yourself first. I know that I can start saving by just $1, but if there's another way for me to be able to budget a set of amount of money to save? Great question, Dennis. Here is what I would suggest for you. The 50-30-20 budget rule. Now, I know this may be easier said, but this will be able to help you so much. It boils down to your wants and your needs. 50% of your paycheck needs to be allocated to your mandatory expenses, while 30% of your paycheck should be allocated to your wants. That 20% definitely needs to go towards your savings. I know that saving money sometimes seems undoable, but once you start, you'll be amazed at how easy it will become. You can do it, Dennis. Let's check out and see if we have another comment or question. Grace from Detroit, Michigan. Grace says, I've spent my entire life living paycheck to paycheck, and I just wanted to let you know that the tips you gave to the audience, I have used all 3 to get a hold of my debt, and I've been able to manage my money more efficiently. Thank you so much. That's awesome, Grace. Thank you for sharing, and keep it going. Paycheck to paycheck living is hard. It's a reality for many of us. Now, you combine this with spending or borrowing beyond your means, inflation, and no savings, being able to break this cycle might seem unattainable. I truly believe with hard work and some sacrifice, anything is possible. If you change what you do today, your behaviors and your attitude as it pertains to your finances, your financial future will be brighter and more secure. Thank you for joining this Project Boost for You live stream. We would love to hear from you, and if you have any ideas or topics that you would like to hear more about, please email us at the email address on the screen. See you next time. And don't forget, you are not alone. We are all in this together. You have the power to boost your financial wellness for yourself and for your family.